Creatine has a branding problem. For 30 years, it has been sitting in the gym supplement aisle next to the pre-workouts and the protein powder, and everyone assumes it is just for getting bigger biceps. But your brain runs on the exact same energy system as your muscles. And the research coming out in the last 2 years has been shockingly clear about this. Creatine is not a gym supplement that happens to reach your brain. It is a brain fuel that bodybuilders discovered first. Here is what the science actually says. Every cell in your body runs on a molecule called ATP. When your brain fires a thought, it burns ATP. When it runs low, you get brain fog. Your brain stores a backup battery called phosphocreatine. When ATP runs low, phosphocreatine donates its phosphate group and instantly regenerates ATP so your neurons keep firing. This is called the creatine kinase system, and it is the same system that powers your muscles during a sprint. The problem is that your brain's phosphocreatine reserves are small and they deplete fast during intense mental work. A long study session. A cognitively demanding meeting. Several hours of deep coding. By the end, your brain is running on fumes. Supplemental creatine increases those reserves. More backup battery means more sustained mental output. In February 2024, a team of researchers in Germany published a study in Nature Scientific Reports that should have made headlines everywhere. They took 15 healthy adults, kept them awake for 21 hours straight, and gave half of them a single high dose of creatine. The results were remarkable. Processing speed on numeric tasks improved by 18%. Logic tasks improved by 14%. Language processing got 11% faster. Word memory improved by 10% compared to placebo. And they did not just measure test scores. They used magnetic resonance spectroscopy to look inside the subjects' brains. They could literally see the creatine levels rising and the brain energy chemistry stabilizing. This was not subjective. This was visible on a brain scan. This has enormous implications for real life. If creatine partially reverses the cognitive decline from sleep deprivation, what about new parents running on 4 hours of broken sleep? Medical residents on 36-hour shifts. Students pulling all-nighters during finals. Shift workers who never get a normal night of rest. You cannot always control your sleep, but you might be able to protect your brain during the stretches when sleep is not an option. The researchers specifically noted that creatine prevented the drop in brain pH that normally accompanies mental exhaustion. Your brain becomes more acidic as it tires. Creatine buffered that acidity. It did not just mask the fatigue. It addressed the underlying metabolic chemistry. Then there is the long-term picture. Researchers at the University of Kansas Medical Center are now running clinical trials on creatine for Alzheimer's disease. The logic is straightforward. Alzheimer's involves a brain energy crisis. Neurons that cannot produce enough ATP start to malfunction and eventually die. Creatine is the most well-studied molecule on Earth for boosting cellular energy production, and the brain has the same energy machinery as every other tissue. Early results suggest creatine can increase brain energy levels even in aging populations. It is not a cure. Nobody is claiming that. But if something as cheap and safe as creatine can tip the scales even slightly toward brain resilience as you age, that is a conversation worth having. Here is a finding that does not get enough attention. Vegetarians and vegans benefit from creatine supplementation far more than meat eaters. Dietary creatine comes almost exclusively from animal products. If you do not eat meat, your body can make its own creatine, but the process is inefficient and your baseline levels are typically 20 to 30% lower. Multiple studies have found that when vegetarians supplement with creatine, their memory scores improve significantly, while meat eaters who already have full creatine stores show less of a cognitive boost. If you are plant-based and have ever struggled with brain fog, mental fatigue, or just feeling a step slower than you used to, creatine might be the single highest impact supplement you can take. It is not a stimulant. It does not alter your brain chemistry in a drug-like way. It simply gives your neurons the fuel they have been missing. So what does the practical side look like? Creatine monohydrate is the form you want. It is the most studied supplement in history after caffeine. 5 grams per day is the standard dose. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks to fully saturate your tissues. There is no cycling required. You do not need to load it. You just take 5 grams a day indefinitely. It costs about 10 cents per day. The side effect profile is about as clean as it gets. Some people retain a small amount of water weight initially. That is it. If you want to target brain benefits specifically, some researchers suggest that higher doses, in the range of 10 to 15 grams per day, may be necessary because the blood-brain barrier limits how fast creatine enters the brain. But start with 5 grams. Your brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your body. Give it the fuel it deserves. If this changed how you think about the most overlooked supplement on the shelf, subscribe. We go deep on the science that actually matters.